just trapping that green house. Now I got the dope in my stash spot. Whoa, poppin' like Boogeyman, I bring a mask out. Went on a mission, I left with his ass out. I'm a big stone to get lit till I pass out. I need my paper, I ain't moving till you cash out. No, I be
Yo, what's poppin'? One the game. Today we're gonna be acting to why we need a new college basketball game. Go ahead, roll up, spark up your blizzy, and let's get straight into it.
In my College Hoops 2K8 and NCAA Basketball 10 retrospectives, I went over the greatest college basketball game of all time in 2K8, and then the last college basketball game ever made in NCAA 10. At the time, it seemed like we would never get another college sports game, especially not a college hoops title. But luckily, things change. As bad as sports gaming has fallen all around, at the very least, more options and more competition are returning.
Yeah.
EA Sports College Football 25, the first college sports game from a AAA publisher in over a decade, broke the record as the best-selling sports video game in the history of the United States.
Yeah, it
EA
did.
made a bag from that game, and it was, in my opinion,
And honestly, we do need more college games.
After seeing that success, it's been reported that both EA and 2K have had internal conversations on developing their own college basketball game. Now that they see the potential revenue that can be made, and thanks to the new NIL rules, players can be fully licensed and paid for their likeness. It's inevitable, sooner than later, we'll have a new
What's the problem?
from
It's taking so
EA,
long.
2K, or both. Even ESPN has had segments discussing who should be on the cover of an inevitable college basketball game. This is the obvious next step for both companies, and I'd expect to see an official announcement sometime this year. There has been a massive void since NCAA Basketball 10. NBA Elite 11 was EA's next basketball title, and that was a disaster. NBA 2K was doing fine until around NBA 2K17, when server issues and over-monetized business practices led to a steady decline. Today, NBA Live is completely dead, and NBA
You got to
2K
making people
is the
pay.
only basketball game on the market, facing no competition.
You want the
and
best my
no
player?
debate.
Pay.
Gameplay is boring and sluggish, offline modes have been completely neglected, and don't even work properly.
You want them Jordans?
The online modes are pay to win. It's
Spend
just
20,000 VC.
compared to what we used to have. An EA March Madness title would give them a much better shot at competing with 2K than a new NBA Live. The Live branding is tarnished at this point, but after the success of College Football 25, I believe most sports gamers have faith in EA to at least deliver a half-decent college game. In fact, I think they should drop the NFL license entirely and focus exclusively on college sports games, as EA's more arcade-leaning gameplay translates much better to college sports games.
Yeah, he really ain't lying.
The 2K College Hoops title would probably be hyper-monetized, but it could also be an opportunity for the devs at 2K to show what they can do without the pressure of maintaining revenue goals with NBA 2K. But as we saw with PGA Tour 2K25, I don't think Take-Two will allow them to release a game that isn't hyper-monetized. Regardless, competition all around is a win for us. I'm sure we all just want something
Really will be a win
something
for
new.
us.
College Football 25 was a breath of fresh air for those of us bored with Madden, and a new college basketball title would bring a similar feeling coming from the stagnation of NBA 2K. Let's look into it. Let's look at the business side of things. As I mentioned, College Football 25 was the best-selling sports game ever. It sold more than Madden 25, MLB The Show 24, NBA 2K 25, and even FC 25 in the US.
It's a new game.
EA took a risk bringing it back.
A new,
and it paid off,
fresh,
probably more than anyone working there
new
expected.
fresh game.
Publishers follow the money, and the money is clearly pointing towards college sports games. The hunger is there. Fans want authentic college experiences, as they deliver a different vibe and atmosphere altogether, and they only disappeared for legal reasons that no longer apply. We will buy a college basketball game. The NIL era has completely changed the landscape. Unlike in College Hoops 2K8 or NCAA Basketball 10, real players with their names, likeness, and faces can be in these games. It worked out great with College Football 25. Even players who initially declined, like Arch Manning for example, eventually caved once they realized how popular the game was going to be. Who
Hey.
wouldn't want their likeness in a video game anyways? Basketball also has something football doesn't have as much: international appeal. While American football is mostly a US thing, basketball has a massive global reach. International players in Europe or China, for example, would 100% play this game as an alternative virtual basketball experience to NBA 2K. easy
Not
way
lying.
for EA and or 2K to expand their market reach. 2K is the obvious candidate to make a game since they already have a basketball engine. Their NBA 2K series dominated the market for years and held the title for the best-selling sports
They
game
just get stale.
until College Football 25 surpassed it. College Hoops 2K8 is still beloved today and considered by most to be the greatest college
The NBA 2K games nowadays, they get stale.
Imagine the My Eras feature with college basketball, allowing you to play in tournaments across history, recreating the Fab 5 era, getting a 5-star player to
Hey,
your
no, that would be
where
lit.
they actually went. There are so many possibilities. Plus, with the increased viewership in women's college basketball, reliving Caitlin Clark's legendary college career would be a ton of fun as well. The gameplay foundation is already there. It would be similar to EA taking gameplay from Madden, tweaking it, and making College Football 25. This would also force 2K to innovate. They've let NBA 2K stagnate, especially in the offline modes, for years. A new franchise for them means a recommitment to the core game modes, which should result in something better than we've seen from them in a while. It's a great opportunity
Hopefully.
for 2K to help fix their image. But unless EA
Hopefully they
also
do
makes
make a
game,
college
the future
basketball
will be
game.
sabotaged by corporate greed.
It's about that
The same
time.
way PGA Tour 2K25 was, no matter how good the core game would be. EA making a game, however, is probably better in my opinion if we had to pick one, but obviously the best option here is both companies make a game for more direct competition. But if I had to pick one, EA would at least provide something that plays and feels and looks vastly different from NBA 2K. And they could easily go gentle on the microtransactions, like they did in the last few NBA Live titles, to undercut 2K in terms of player support and goodwill.
Yeah,
Imagine a college-style
but
tournament
most likely they're not
where
gonna cut back on
win. That would
microtransactions.
flip most NBA 2K players over in an instant. EA also has been negotiating with schools and players, unlike 2K, so they may have an upper hand in terms of connections. And an EA basketball game undercutting NBA 2K could force 2K to make their game a lot better and less predatory, and they put more effort into things beyond microtransactions. It could be really nice, and it definitely
That's the
sounds
thing about
like
2K. Everything is
another long-shot
microtransactions.
NBA Live attempt. That's my take on who I'd prefer making it, but as of now, both 2K and EA are discussing making their own games. So it seems like we'll most likely get both, which is the best case scenario all around.
Yes, it
Competition
really
was
is.
a major reason sports games were so great in the early to mid 2000s. A return to that would result in such a nicer landscape for all of us. What could we expect?
Yeah,
to
if we get
see
back to
in
like the
modern
early
day
2000s.
title? A way more lively crowd than you see in NBA 2K, that's for sure. The atmosphere and presentation of March Madness is electric.
Man,
Fans playing, the student sections going crazy, traditions for every school. It's a completely different vibe altogether. Outside of playoff games, the NBA does not hit in the same way. The single elimination format of the tournament adds so much intensity to every game. You lose and you're out. Playing a tournament online with your friends would be so much fun, along with getting recruits, upgrading your arena and training facilities, going through your trophy room, and more. A proper Dynasty mode with modern features would go so hard. And as I mentioned earlier, a My Eras feature would take it to the next level. It
man.
would be different. College basketball has a much stronger variety in schemes and play styles. Teams like Virginia play at a slow,
No lie.
methodical pace, while others
If they
push
do make a college basketball game,
still shoot a lot
it'll
of
probably be
mid-range
harder than 2K.
while others chuck threes like it's the NBA. If one can be successful playing with a variety
It'll be so much you can do
there isn't
on a
just
college
one
game
meta, this game could be special.
than 2K.
And the rivalries would go
On
so
2K, all you have is
Imagine
what?
the atmosphere if
Really,
you
my career,
at a Duke, North Carolina game, or
the
Kentucky,
park,
Louisville, or Kansas,
and my
Missouri.
team.
There are decades of history behind these rivalries, and it would be amazing to get to re-experience that through different eras. This is what sports video games could and should be. Time machines that celebrate the history of a sport, past, present, and future. Not card opening simulators and online pay-to-win gotcha games like we see
Man.
today. A return to college basketball games is hopefully a return to normalcy for the genre at large. The return of college basketball games isn't just a wish or a fantasy, it's very real. Inevitably, 2K and or EA will release a college hoops title, and I will be there to cover it and review it. The business case is too strong to ignore, the legal issues are over thanks to the NIL era, and the appetite from fans is clearly there. Both EA and
He's
college
not lying.
basketball market would be a best-case scenario all around. Competition drives innovation, and when two companies have to compete for your attention and your money, you end up winning in the end. We get the leverage back. It's been a long time since NCAA Basketball 10. Too long. The success of College Football 25 has kicked the
Long
door
time.
wide open once again, and there's going to be a race to see who walks through it first. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Would you prefer an EA or a 2K College Hoops title? And what features
EA.
would you like to see in these games? As always, thanks for watching.
Alright, Wonder Gang, let me know about that, how y'all feel about that video. Should we get some college basketball games? How should they do it? Let me know down in the comments below.
I was just trapping that during the house. Now I got the dope, my stash spot. Whoa, poppin' like Boogie Man, I bring a mask out. Went on a mission, I left with his ass out. I'm a big stone to get lit till I pass out.